able to put your cameras on, please do. It's so much nicer to actually see faces. And so if you could pop your camera on, that would be great. We will be having questions at the end. So if you have any questions, pop them in the chat and we'll swing back around and get to those at the end. But I am going to run through, those of you that don't know me, my name is Lisa Johnston. I'm a community member here in Australia, and we have been putting together Brand in the Spotlight calls, and super excited that I had Mr. Jim Bunch booked in before he was part of the launch that just recently happened for Opoly. And I just really wanted to, but yeah, just so grateful to have him here. I am going to just share my screen and I'm going to do the housekeeping things before I hand over to Jim. So if this is your very first time with seeing any of our Connect calls, our Connect ecosystem calls, please take a screenshot of this. This is our full disclaimers. I'm not going to use this time to read through those, but one of our big things is hashtag we own this. So please take a screenshot and do your own research. What I will do though is I will jump into the disclaimer summary. This call may contain forward-looking statements. No earning claims or financial advice will be given or are given. The digital rewards are for utility and DYOR, as I mentioned. Do your own research. Do not take my word. Don't take Jim's. Investigate, play in the space and do your own research. The information provided is for educational purposes, and nodes and blockchain are governed by the DGF, the Distributed Governance Framework. So I am so pumped. I'm so excited to have Jim Bunch join us today. And those of you that don't know, we have someone joining us who has spent over 2 decades obsessed over one thing: human performance and the environments that create it. If you've been in personal development or the entrepreneurial space for a while, you know the name Jim Bunch, and being part of the ecosystem, you may also be familiar with who he is. He's the founder of The Ultimate Game of Life, a global movement that's helped thousands of people design life around health, wealth, and happiness by mastering their environments. But beyond the coaching and the stages, Jim really is a true technologist and strategic architect of time. For years, Jim, like many of us, watched the digital revolution turn into digital overwhelm. He saw the average leader hopping between 10 plus apps, paying for dozens of AI subscriptions and losing hours every week, just trying to keep their head above water. Don't know if that feels familiar to you, but it certainly did for me. So Jim didn't just want a new tool, he wanted an operating system for life. He's the man who has his finger in a lot of pies. He has had great success in a number of business, solar power business, as I mentioned, coached from stages, been with some very well-known names in the world, and he is a man who famously monitors, as he shared with us recently, 11 different YouTube channels for AI trending using Opoly, and who uses this technology to generate a full dossier on every single person he meets before he even jumps on the call. So I'm kind of excited because I did see in his folder that my name's there. So I'd be curious to see what my dossier says from you, Jim. But that's for another day. He's here today because he's found the bridge between high-level human performance and high-leverage technology. He's going to show us how he replaced over 500 a month in fragmented subscriptions with one singular focus, and now he's finally collapsed app hopping, as he calls it, into actual productivity. Jim, it's certainly a privilege to have your wisdom and your fire in the spotlight today, buddy. The biggest welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. Super excited to be here. And do me a favor, everybody, type into the chat where you're checking in from. I know we've got people all across the world, but I want to connect with you first. And then if it's okay, Lisa, I'm going to go ahead and share screen and just dive right in. I think right now I'm seeing just you, so I'm not sure how we how we change that. Maybe you're pinned. All right, but I see people from Tasmania, Australia, Brisbane, Texas, Quebec, Gold Coast. Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, let's dive in. And I want to set a frame here for a conversation. Yeah, everybody is saying they can just see you, Lisa. So if somebody will figure that out, I'm going to try to share screen. Can you see the screen now? Type it in the chat if you can see the screen.
Yep, that's good.
Awesome.
Got your screen, Jim.
All right, so before we dive into Opperly, the AI agent, I want to share this because this hit me a couple of weeks ago when I was on a stage and I was talking to a couple hundred business owners. And I said, how many of you have noticed, or you've been around long enough on this planet, that when you were a kid, you remember when we just used to go outside and play in nature, but in the last 5 to 10, maybe 15 years, we've got this whole digital world that has trapped us. We're always on screens, whether it's a phone or a laptop or a TV or something like that. And that this digital world has gotten us to the place where we're actually starting to feel overwhelmed. We're starting to feel to the point where, and type this in the chat, how many of you are to the point where you're like, okay, I don't even want to check my emails because I've got all these emails and WhatsApps and signals. And, in my case, I've got Slack channels for every one of my companies. One of my companies has hundreds of employees and thousands of salespeople. And just that one Slack thread can have 2,000 to 3,000 messages a day. And that's one of 6 companies that I'm involved in, right? So how many of you gotten to that point where you just don't even want to mess with it? You're like, I have dissonance. I'm ready to avoid this. All right. So I noticed this was happening. And the second big thing I want to talk about, this 3D world, this physical world that's now being merged with this digital world, is I noticed that most of the people are going to stay at this level, the physical world with the digital world. And my example is my mom, who's amazing. She's 76 years old, and she loves using Amazon.com because she can put something in her shopping cart and get it the next day. That's her level of engagement with it. She does not want to know about all the AI. She does not have an interest or really want to know too much about the blockchain, even though she's a node owner along with many of you. By the way, if I say nodes and blockchain, how many of you know what I'm talking about? Type nodes if it's a yes. And if you're not, just say not really. Okay, cool. So when I say something like that, you guys get it. So here's what's actually being built across the world. And this is what's super exciting to me. And then I'm going to take you into the AI platform. About 3 to 4 years ago, I was sharing this image with people. And I said, when people were just learning about ChatGPT, I said, this is great, but we're going to move from LLMs and chatbots to agents. We're all going to have an army of agents in this agentic layer that are going to manage our emails, our calendars, our social, our commerce, our businesses. And there's a hierarchy to these agents. And I'm going to show you guys that in a minute because I didn't see anybody building it. So on Christmas Eve, Kim Garsh says, you know what? I'm going to start coding it. I'm going to start building this platform that allows you to manage your digital world with the use of agents. And that's what we're going to show you tonight with Opperly. Now, that AI world is being built on top of what? It's being built on top of a blockchain layer. And what does that do? It gives us freedom, privacy, security, and ownership. Okay. It creates trust and transparency. And it also stores and hides or keeps private a lot of that data. So does this graph kind of help you understand that there's 3 layers? There's this top layer, the 3D world, that 99.9% of the people are going to live up here. And then those of you who are in this AI and this blockchain layer, you're actually in the 1% right now. Now, the rest of the world may use it, but you're starting to learn it. Okay, this is an important framework. And I just wanted to present this because right as we were getting ready to start, Lisa says, hey, can you please share with everybody this overall concept of where we are and where we're headed? And the other big piece I'm going to share with you is what I call an army of agents. And I'm going to show this because we are transitioning in the last 30 days very quickly from just people being aware of something called chatbots, right? Which or an LLM, 2 different things, but similar. A chatbot or an LLM, I type something in like, hey, what are the flights going from San Juan to San Diego tomorrow? I'm going to put that in there and it's going to give me a response back. So it's input, output. All right. Now, an agent, I can tell it, I want to be in San Diego tomorrow by 5 p.m. And it's going to go out and it's going to know the goal. So I give it the goal or the outcome, and it's going to figure out everything it has to do to identify that flight, confirm it with me, and book that flight. That's the difference. An agent, you give an outcome and it figures out how to do it. A chatbot, you have to kind of keep putting input out, put input, output. You have to work with it. So what I'm going to show you now is something that I shared with people 3 years ago when they were just getting excited about ChatGPT. And I'm like, that's great, but let me give you guys a peek, because I've been sharing this for over 6 years about AI, machine learning, and LLMs. But check this out. This is what every one of us is going to have. Every business owner and every employee is going to have an army of agents that are doing the work for you. So you're going to have this executive director agent. Okay. This executive director agent sits on top of the rest of the agents. And you're going to have this manager level. So you might have a communication manager who orchestrates and delegates your communications. Okay. You might have a project manager. You might have a research manager. You might have a content manager. And those managers sit on top of what we call task-specific agents. So a communication manager would sit on top of and check the work of a Slack agent, a calendar agent. And that calendar agent might get your calendar events, create your calendar events, update your calendar, right? It's going to work just with your one or multiple calendars. An email agent, a LinkedIn agent, a WhatsApp agent, a voice agent. Does this make sense that all of these agents would report up to a communication agent that would report to an executive director or a digital twin? And then each one of these would have a specific job and do specific things. All right. Why do we need that? Because task agents get confused. They get overwhelmed, just like humans. So how many of you can see a future where one person could run $1 billion company with an army of agents, or in our case, we have hundreds of employees, but each of them could do exponentially more because they have an army of agents that's already trained on the job or the tasks. Does this make sense? If you understand the big picture of what I was just explaining, and then you understand the agent structure, now it's going to be simpler to understand Operaly. And just so I know, how many of you type into the chat, how many of you are already using Operaly? You have an account and you started using it. And then if you aren't, say not yet, so I can get an idea of where to take this. Okay, because I'm going to share with you the 3 to 4 really cool use cases, and then we can brainstorm for a little bit. All right, my hopes are by the end of tonight, you, number one, understand that AI agents are simpler to use and deploy today than they've ever been, okay? And you're not going to have to set up a Mac Mini. You're not going to have to set up a virtual private server and then deploy guardrails. You're not going to have to pay somebody to come into your house and to set these things up. And you're not going to have to pay somebody thousands of dollars every time that the code changes and it breaks and you have to go back through. All right, that's the beauty of Operaly. So I see some not yets, all right, and I see some yeses. Awesome. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through this and then we'll leave some time for questions, but I'm going to go through a quick overview of Operaly and then just show you a couple of use cases, because the fun is in getting in and using this thing. It is amazing how cool this software is. All right, so can you see the screen here? This is just the Operaly homepage, okay? Awesome. All right. So I'm going to do a quick overview of this because I always do this. And then I'm going to take you inside Operaly and show you what it looks like to automate your life using AI. Now, what's the problem we solve? I'm a big believer, solve one problem and have one solution. Right now, that digital overwhelm is being accelerated because just last year alone, there were 24,000 AI companies, not just AI tools, but actual AI companies that were born. Okay, so keeping up with the tools and keeping up with the companies is almost impossible. And what it's created is it's created digital overwhelm. People are disconnecting, which is great. Go back to nature, spend more time with family. We want that. But don't drop the opportunity that's sitting right in front of us. actually scale. Looks like we got some background noise coming in. So let's not miss the big opportunity for us to leverage AI. Do we have a moderator? I think somebody put their name in. I'm going to stop sharing.
Gav, can you mute? I can't seem to mute you, buddy.
And
Please.
Stephen needs to mute too. Gavin, Stephen.
Says
All right, we'll
unmuted.
give it a pause. Maybe go out and come back in, you guys, Gavin, Stephen. If you can leave and come back in.
That's better.
Okay. You know what? That's a perfect example of digital overwhelm versus peace. How many of you just got that live experience? Okay. All right. That's what it feels like for most people. They're in digital overwhelm. All right. So here we go. So one workspace for all of your agents to live. And what's cool is that you don't need more tools. All right. You don't need ChatGPT, Grok, Perplexity, Claude. All right, at 20, 60, $200 a month. You don't need to have Notion AI for your project management or Jasper for your marketing or Superhuman to get your inbox to zero. It's $30 a month to keep your inbox to zero, right? Or Motion or Zapier or Canva Pro to create your slide decks and your visuals. Operaly has it all, plus hundreds of more AI tools in one place. How cool is this, right? So imagine if tonight you had an AI team that would help you manage your life and your business. If you had a COO for operations, you had a CMO for your marketing, you had an executive assistant that sat over everything, you had your tasks and projects being created and organized and completed in real time by your AI. Okay, how cool is that? And you have a calendar system, an email system that's all synced, and your AI knows everything that's going on. How cool is that? Right? And what if you could tie in your Telegram, your Slack, eventually your WhatsApp and Signals, and you could automate things? This is what Operaly is. So, are you ready to go inside? You want to go check it out? And by the way, what if you could do all of that for $50 to $200 a month? All right, I'm going to just tell you the price up front. It's $50 to start. $200 is fully loaded, has all the automations. It has a lot more tokens and things like that. So it's a really cool platform. All right, and we're inside. So notice what it does first is it greets me. Good evening, Jim. It knows where I'm at. It knows that I'm in Puerto Rico. So here's what most people use this for. And I'm going to use voice into it to text right now, but I could use voice to voice. So watch this. I would like to be in San Diego Friday. Please give me a list of first class flights from San Juan to San Diego with the best route. Now, most of you are used to using AI for things like this, right? How many of you are using AI like this? It's doing Google type research for you, okay? Now, every time I put something in Google, it doesn't know all my preferences and all my habits, but I'm training my AI, my Operaly, which means operate simply, to understand everything about me. So it's researching the first class flights, it's giving my itinerary. Look at how fast and easy that is. All right. Now, what you're noticing is I have an agent. Notice it says Tommy's recommendation. I have trained an agent called Tommy the travel agent, okay, that knows my specifics. I'll teach you how to do this later. It comes pre-populated with some of these things, but we're creating master agents that know my preferences, know my airline miles numbers, know what hotels I like to stay in. They know where I live and where I typically go. So as you educate or train your agents, they will make better decisions for you. All right. So you can use ChatGPT like that, or if you want, you can use voice to voice. So many of you use this for ChatGPT. So if I go, let me see if this works. We're on a video conference, so it may be a little funky. Hey, Operaly, did I miss any important emails in the last 60 minutes?
You've had emails for the last, most look like years. There is one particularly regarding transfer. Here are the most significant ones. One, wire update. Sally Walker at RB
All right. I'm not going to tell you my wire transfers, but you get the idea. Okay. So what did it just do? It went through not just one of my email inboxes, but it went through all of my email boxes for each of my companies and my personal that fast. So I have connected Operaly to my Google emails and my Microsoft emails so that it knows everything that's coming in, and I can give it feedback. I can have it creating auto replies. Let me see if there's anything okay. So let me do this. All right, here we go. This is one. So what it's doing is it's summarizing the email, so I don't have to read the whole thing. Okay, that this guy's coming to the AI mastermind, and if I wanted to, it can draft an auto reply right here. How cool is that? So yep, here's the date. Da da da. How awesome is that? All right. So emails are connected. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. I'm going to discard that draft, right? But I get a lot of emails, as you can imagine. I also have it connected to all of my calendars. So it's reading my calendars in real time. Now, how is this cool? The other day, Tony Swantek and I were talking. He goes, dude, this was crazy. I booked a flight to the Netherlands. My AI realized that I have a standing call, a rally call during my flight time. And my AI asked me, hey, Tony, in the morning brief or check-in, hey, Tony, you have a call schedule while you're in flight. Would you like me to A, reschedule your flight, B, reschedule the meeting, C, tell them to do the meeting without you? And he was like, this is amazing. He goes, he trained his AI. He goes, hey, Operaly, I will rarely ever want you to change a flight over a meeting. Just tell them to do it without me. Operaly says, great, memory noted. I will let them know to schedule the meeting, or to reschedule to do the meeting without you. So it knows your calendar, it knows your schedule, and it can work around that in real time. So how do you do this? It's super simple. This is the first thing I tell people to do. Come in here to settings, hit integrations, and connect your accounts, right? So how easy is it? Click the Add Google button, hit this, boom. One button, it automatically starts importing it. Super simple. All right. What about other email accounts like Microsoft? Same thing. You can connect your Microsoft or your Apple. You can connect your messaging apps, Telegram and Slack. You can even connect any other thing like your CRM, HubSpot, or Go High Level or whatever with Zapier, webhooks, or APIs. A little more advanced, but here's the step one. Connect it so it starts to learn about you. Now, how many of you, type it in the chat, have been using ChatGPT for a year or two or three, or Claude or Grok or Perplexity, and you're like, man, I would rather have one workspace instead of bouncing around and one monthly fee, no contracts, cancel at any time, versus all these other AIs. Look how easy it is. You literally export from Claude or GPT and you import right here. I did mine, it took less than 60 seconds. And then the 3.5 years that I've been training it, it automatically knows all that data. Is that cool or what? Okay, one workspace, all my data. All right, so very, very cool. Let me take you to the second most important piece. Now, I showed it to you here and I said, oh, I've got Tommy, the travel agent. I've got my executive assistant. You can default it to that. But I've got all these other agents that are pre-built, and then I built some. So the normal question is, cool, how do I build agents, or how do I see my agents? Well, number one, you can click on chat and you can do the drop down and manage team, right? This will take you right to it. And here you can see all the agents I have. Now we're going to go ahead and create an agent in real time right from here. Okay. So what's cool is I can click this button to create a team member. Now here's the deal. It's going to take me longer to explain it than it would to actually create one. But we're going to create one in real time so you can see how you don't have to set up a Mac Mini or an OpenClaw or anything. You can literally create unlimited agents to start automating your life and business ASAP. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name it and make it fun. I'm going to go, let's go Tommy. And actually, let's do Sally, the SEO expert. All right. So obviously I want to update that, or I'm sorry, I want to create an agent that's going to help me with the SEO on my website. So what's her title? SEO consultant and strategist. All right. So boom. What has it got to be good at? Well, content creation, probably market research, and what else? Data analysis. All right. Boom. balanced. What do I want my communications? Let's just make it balanced. I would like it to be, let's see, direct, all right? And what else? Professional, okay? Now, communication do's and don'ts. What do I want it to do? Use accurate data and clear communication. What don't I want it to do? Never hallucinate, never make up data, and never be condescending or demeaning. All right, what am I doing? I'm training my agent on how to communicate. So who's the target audience? So in this case, I'm going to make this an internal agent for my Operaly AI business. All right, so boom. Now, final piece. Most other platforms require you to write a prompt for the agent, but not here. All I have to do is click this button, generate instructions. What it's doing in 15 to 30 seconds is it's building the prompt or the information that's going to train your agent. Now, we didn't give it a lot of data, but check this out. It instantly created the prompt, and we can edit this, we can replace this, or we can just use it. Okay, so look at what it did. You are Sally, a seasoned SEO consultant and strategist with over 15 years experience in digital marketing. Your primary role is to serve as the internal SEO intelligence for the Operaly AI. You specialize in driving organic growth, optimizing visibility, and ensuring all content and technical assets. Pretty cool, right? What's the expertise? Content creation and optimization with SEO. Now, look, we didn't say this. Content strategies, keyword mapping, and on-page optimization. Pretty important. Now, if I wanted to, I could just add more things to it, right? Market research, identifying competitor gaps, trend forecasting, audience persona development. You get the point, right? This is pretty sophisticated right out of the box. And look at this. It took me longer to explain it than to actually create it. So look at this. Sally is an agent, right? Sally, the SEO expert, has just been created. 60 seconds or less, you can create as many agents as you want to help you with marketing, lead generation, branding, sales, conversions, analyzing webinars, doing customer support, doing outreach, reading your emails, booking your calendars, running your travel, whatever it is, you can create these agents. And we are going to be running classes to teach you how to build what I call master agents that are very sophisticated. As a matter of fact, I've got a whole list of these things right here that we're starting to build out, these master agents and meta prompts. So we'll talk about that at a later date. But you can see how easy this is and how sophisticated this can be. Now, what's also cool, final piece, and I know I'm doing a little bit of training, but I think this is important. You now have what? You have an AI that can learn about you. You can chat with it. You can have it do whatever you want. It's going to be able to read your emails. It's going to manage your calendar, right? It's also going to come with a team of agents already built that you can add to or you can customize. But you can also attach these agents to what's called a knowledge base. Think of a knowledge base like a big filing cabinet that whatever you want to put in there, those agents are going to know. So each one of these are companies, like Connect is a company, Impact CEOs, Operaly AI, Power is my energy company with hundreds of employees, Ultimate Life is another company I own. So these are all companies I own. And then I have one for private and personal knowledge base for the Bunch family. This is where I keep our health data and our financial data, and where I'll be building our health agents and our financial agents and attaching them to the documents inside. We'll teach you more about this later, but the key is get it to manage your communications, build your agents, and help these agents become smarter at running your life and your business. That's the main key. What's also cool, final piece here, is the referrals. Every single Operaly account is automatically an affiliate, and you can literally copy this link, share it with people, and now you can offset your cost, or you can even start earning some additional income and rewards by promoting this software. But the key to it is use it to make your life better, faster. That's the key. So I'm going to pause for a minute. Lisa, if you want to come back on, that's about as fast as I can do the Operaly overview. Maybe we take some questions here. If anybody's got some questions, happy to answer those. Lisa, did you have some? Oh, I guess we got to go back to focus here.
No,
All right.
I'm all good. I'm all good. Here I am. So, Jim, thank you. That is, again, like every time I see it and you share it, there's so much gold in that, because you're somebody who's been playing in the space for some time. And there are a few questions in the chat, Jim, but I've got a couple for you to start with. So, Jim, you've spent your career teaching people about the 9 environments of their life. For many, their digital environment is currently a source of constant stress and fragmentation. What's a specific moment or tipping point for you where you realised that adding more tools was actually making us less productive, and how consolidating into Opoly shifted your internal state of focus so far?
Yeah, I'll give you two quick answers to that. Number one is that I don't know if there's a way to split screen for you and me both on here, but number one, I had this awakening because I have been mentoring CEOs for years, and CEOs, they have to deal with everything, right? Marketing, sales, finance, ops, legal, team, taxes, all kinds of stuff. And I was watching the stress level of myself and other CEOs go exponential the more technology got introduced. And it just hit me. I'm like, the biggest problem that we could solve is to consolidate everything into one place so that they had one place to manage their life and business. And so that was the big piece. I saw the problem very clearly in our CEOs and our companies, especially when you have hundreds or thousands of employees. And I thought, what if we could take AI and create a digital twin of us? And then what if we could create an army of agents that worked for the digital twin? I could delegate all this digital chaos and replace not just 10 tools, but hundreds of tools with one system. I could replace all my emails and my calendars and have these agents all working together, creating real business workflows. That was the first piece. Then what I realized is, as I was teaching people how to leverage AI, I started realizing, wait a minute, when OpenClaw it came out and everybody's like, oh, we got to get Mac minis. We got to set up these virtual private servers. And then we got to install this open source software. And then, oh crap, guess what? This thing's running wild now. It's setting up its own systems. It's creating its own social networks. It's starting to hack into our bank accounts. I was like, wait a second, this is an issue. This is a problem. And I hired somebody to come over to my house a little while back. And I said, we're going to do it. We're going to set this up. We're going to set up a virtual private server on Amazon. We're going to install OpenClaw and we're going to automate our companies. I watched a tech guy struggle for 45 minutes and I went, 99.9% of people are not going to succeed at this. The 0.01% that are technical are going to work their way through this, but 99% are not. That's when we said we have to build a framework that makes it easy for everybody to engage in this AI world, to build these AI agents, to improve their life and to create a greater impact, but without making it hard on them. And that's when we said, all right, we're going to build this platform. We're going to manage the technology. We're going to do all this changing behind the scenes of not just 10 AI tools. We already have over 105 AI softwares and tools that are in the back. There's actually one that I didn't show you guys that I'd like to show you real quick because it's just fun. How many of you create slide decks or pictures or videos? Anybody do that? I want to share something with you. This is built inside, all right? So instead of going to Claude or Grok or going to Canva, what if all of that was in a Create Hub? What if you could create images, slideshows, videos, social posts, blog articles, all in one place? Well, you can. It's super simple. I'm just going to take you to the library for time and show you some I've already done. But check this out. The first one I did was this. I simply typed in a guy relaxing on the beach in Puerto Rico after a great surf session. Check this out. It actually put a sign of Rincon Surf School, which is 2 hours from here, the best surf spot on the island. It also put, look at this, it put a local beer, Madala, and a surf sticker on the board. Now, How many of you, type it in the chat, if you've ever worked with images in Grok or Claude or ChatGPT and said, hey, keep everything the same, but change this, and then had it change everything. How frustrating is it when it doesn't change what you want? It changes everything, okay? Look at this. This was literally the first day that we turned this live. I did exactly that. I said, hey, keep everything the same, but make his hair shorter and his face less scruffy. It did it perfectly. Perfectly. That would have frustrated me to no end, and I would have finally given up. Okay. But look at all the fun stuff in here. Okay. So I was using it to change images on a background over and over. Right. I told my wife, this is what I think I look like. She says, your six pack does not look like that. Thanks a lot, AI. I like, let's throw Elon on a rocket, right, in outer space. That's fun. Okay. But check this out. Right. I actually had it spin up my book cover in seconds. How many of you like this AI Revolution book cover? Do you like that one better, number one, or do you like this one better, number two? I think I like number one better, but it did that in a second, right? I said, let's customize the jet. Let's put the impact logo on there. Boom. It did it in a matter of a second. Great for visualization. Let's put something on the sphere. How fun and easy is that? So images, really simple. What about videos? Check this out. Here's one of the first videos that I created. And what's cool is we have multiple video generators built in, but I said, let's create one for Operaly that shows a guy that's frustrated. Here, let me start. I'm going to pause this and then rewind it. Okay, but I want you to read the prompt first. Help me create a funny video ad for Operaly AI that features our trademarked stop hopping slogan. Now, it's not trademarked. I made this up when I created this video. But if you hop from this app to this app to this app in the tech world, it's called context switching. And it's causing a lot of frustration, overwhelm, confusion, right? People are losing focus. So we're going to own this conversation. It refers to busy people who are hopping from this to this to this. Now, that's the prompt I gave it. Super simple. If I weren't playing this through a video conference platform, R-Link, it would be crystal clear, but you're going to hear a little feedback loop. But in my version, it's crystal clear. So watch this 12-second video with that short prompt.
Email, calendar, chat. Oh, now the CRM.
Need a hand or oh,
Whoa, where did you?
I'm the app hopper. I bounce all day.
Yeah, that's the problem. Try this. Operaly AI.
One app, all your work.
It did that on its own. How cool is that? Now here's another one. Let me see this one. Yep.
Swipe left, swipe left, swipe left.
What's the matter? Not cute enough?
No, I don't date app hoppers.
Properly. The dating app that stays.
Download.
Now it thought it was a dating app. It's obviously not a dating app. So I did another one. I said, all right, let's do one based on the one habit principle. Watch this.
10 different apps just to plan one trip. There has to be an easier way. Meet Operaly. Type a single sentence and watch the chain reaction. Flight booked, calendar updated, reminder set, email drafted. No hopping, no juggling.
How cool is that, right? So videos on demand. Let's do one last thing, slideshows. I just did this 1 minute before, I haven't even looked at it. All right, what does it do? Replaces 10 to 15 tools with one system. Now, some of you probably use Gamma or Google Slides. This is built in, right? You're not liking tools, you're drowning in them. So it literally created this slide deck. What if you had an AI team? Okay, let me show you how, right? Replace 10 tools with one. So anyways, you get the point, right? All of this is built into the Create Hub, and it's super simple to create images, slideshows, social posts, blogs, and it's all stored in a library. Now, final piece on this. This AI has two memory features that are important. Number one, it has long-term memory. So as you train it about you, it's going to remember it. It's going to remember your family. It's going to remember whatever you train it to do, and it's going to keep this in the vault. So my wife spells her name with one L. I trained it that way. So if I say my wife or my bride, it's going to know I'm talking about Michelle. If I say my son, it's going to know Tegan, or my mom, Fran. I put important dates in there, so it reminds me of these. It becomes your digital twin. It becomes the thing that remembers everything. That's number one. Number two, it also has what's called semantic search. Now, I don't have to type in specific things. I can just generally talk about it and say, hey, pull up some of the dossiers. Pull up some of the dossiers that you are writing for me. Now, it's going to know to go find these dossiers. All right. Now I'm going to show you what's a dossier. I had this insight the other day that I go from one meeting to the next to the next. And oftentimes I don't know who I'm talking to, their background, and what we should be talking about because I'm going meeting after meeting after meeting. I thought to myself, I'm like, well, if I was president of the United States, I'd have a chief of staff whose job would be to make sure that they oversee somebody who prepares dossiers so that I never walk into a meeting not knowing who am I talking to, what we're talking about, and their background. So guess what? I told Operaly to look at my calendar, and for every meeting I have, I want you to build a dossier. So check this out. All right. See, these are some of the dossiers. I'm going to show you where it stores these because I thought this was really cool. So it comes in here to, where is it? My files. And it intelligently started creating its own file system. I didn't have to tell it to create these files. It created a file called CRM. Underneath that, it created dossiers like a Google Drive. And then it started doing all of the dossiers. So here's Lisa's. Check this out. It does this automatically every morning, right? So Web3 strategist, Web3 and blockchain, decentralized income, LinkedIn, Facebook. And if I wanted to, I could chat with it about Lisa. Now, after I get through having a meeting, maybe it's a one-on-one, maybe it's a group, I could update this information and it would know more about that person in our conversations. It has intelligence. It keeps learning about me and all the people, and it'll remind me later on, hey, you need to follow up. So I know we've covered a lot. The coolest thing is when I tell people to get started, it's really super simple. If you wanted to get started right now, it's easy. Number one, set up your account. No contracts, cancel at any time, $50 a month. If you want the $200 version, it's fully loaded. Let me show you where this is. So this is number one. Number two, you can have this thing up and running in less than 5 minutes. It's literally the simplest thing. So what do? You come in here, you decide, do you want the $50 version or do you want the 200? All right, so I'll just click the pricing. All right, $50 is for solo team, AI chat with 115 tools, personas, persistent memory, knowledge bases, all the stuff I've already shown you, email, Google Calendar, tasks, all this, Telegram and Slack. All right, the $200 version, which is what I'm on, is everything in that version, plus the video generation, video avatars, which I didn't show you, automating your email processing, which I did show you, APIs and webhooks, advanced automation, SMS, we're incorporating the Twilio, better support, and higher token usage. So decide where you want to go. That's totally up to you. You just hit start delegating. I already have an account, so it may, choose one. Let's just say you did this one, and boom, you come in, you fill this out, and you are live. Once you are live and you come back to the screen, you simply click log in. You're in. The first thing I do is I go down to settings and hit integrations. That's it. If you want to mess with the GPT import, go for it. I recommend you just set up your email and your calendars as step one. That's the thing that I would do. Step two, go check out the team. You don't have to create agents today, but look at the agents that come pre-populated in your account. And then step three, start using it. It's that simple. You can be up and running with this thing in a couple of minutes, and you can start talking to it, you can type to it, and immediately you have an AI army that's helping you with your life and business. Okay. What questions are coming up, Lisa? I know I took us on a little tangent, but I want to take you back in there.
No, that was good, Timmy. In fact, you actually answered quite a number of the questions with what you popped in there. Somebody asked about an annual subscription, and I saw that as you were going through, there is a tab that you can click on for the annual subscription. So that has been answered. There's quite a few questions that support will be able to help with as well. So Operaly at support, we'll pop that email in as well in the chat in a moment for you.
Can I tell you what I would do? So here's what I train people to do. Any questions you have, go into Operaly. Don't go to support. Go into Operaly and ask the question there. So if you come in here and you say, I'll just create a new tab. What are your security protocols? Okay. Ask Operaly about itself. Operaly is trained on everything Operaly. So it will know How do you do whatever? Like, here's your security. So if you're demoing this product for somebody else, I don't answer those questions. I make Opperly answer it, because then I'm training them to go to the AI first. Does that make sense? You follow?
Yes, agree. And I've done that a number of times as well, Jim. And so after your launch on Saturday, well, actually before the launch on this Friday night, which was funny, I was just sitting there playing, and I actually created a whole ebook in a matter of minutes. So you shared that everybody should have an ebook or have a book written. And so that was super cool. That was, and guys, the other thing that you shared, and if you can speak into this a little bit perhaps too, Jim, is just the different dynamics of people, so network marketers, or whether they're a hairdresser or those sorts of things. And you can type into Opperly to help you to pitch directly to those types of people, to those demographics of people.
100%. You can actually set up an agent that targets lead generation for hairdressers, for real estate agents, for network marketers, and it will build a prompt that is specific to that vertical, and it's awesome.
Lisa, I think one of the things, just to make sure people are clear on, and going back to what Jim just said before about asking Opperly, is I think people put off getting started because they think they need a couple of hours or a couple of days to do all the training and learn what to do. But it's not like that. I haven't even watched any of the tutorials. There's a bunch of tutorials there, but I just say, hey, Opperly, how can you help me manage my inbox? Or how can you help me create a website? Or and it tells me exactly how it can help me. So it's so simple. So if you're waiting to find the time so that Opperly can help you save time, that kind of doesn't make sense, because as soon as you get started, you will just be able to breathe out. I wake up with a smile on my face every morning because I know she's already drafted responses to all of the emails that came in overnight, and all I have to do is click review and send, and it's just like, oh, that in itself is worth $50 a month for me. It just takes the load off. So it answers all of the questions for you. And as you said, Jim, I sat in my main street of my town grabbing a coffee the other day, and I said, hey, Opperly, can you help create a pitch for me and I listed all of the businesses. I ran my eyes up the street and down the street for a real estate agent, for a bakery, for a homeware shop, for and up I went. And she then just in minutes created full slideshows for every single one of those businesses. So some people message me and say, how do I tell a real estate agent about Opperly? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a real estate agent. Ask Opperly. And she will tell you so much better than I can. So, and then now I'm just going to go knock on their door and say, hey, can I show you something really cool? And there's my 8 slides. I just run them through the 8 slides. And the level at which she's designed the flow of that presentation is completely mind-blowing. I've been in sales forever, my whole life. She does it better than I could ever do it. So impressive.
That is awesome. That's exactly what we're talking about. Use the AI to educate and enroll people in using the AI. And I want to do one more piece, and then there's some questions coming in here. I'm going to go back to the original thing. For those of you who are node owners, this is really important to understand, okay? Picture this. Again, a lot of people in the world, they're going to sit up here at this top layer. Because you're node owners, you own this AI technology. You actually own Opperly. It sits on top of the Rally blockchain. So if you own Rally nodes, you own this AI and you own the blockchain. Picture this. I promise you, we will have 1 million subscribers that are paying $50 to $200 a month this year. I promise you this. I have one massive deal that will probably do it, but there's 100 companies that have already come to us and want to white label this technology. All right, but picture this, $50 million a month that's putting pressure on the Rally token, or the other brands, Connect, can white label it too. So think about this for a minute. If you are wanting to promote this and you think that there's value in this, number one, use it. Number two, get out and share it. Because when we hit 1 million subscribers at 50 million a month, and Tony and I have talked about this quite a bit, we feel that Opperly is the technology. There's not a bigger market right now. There is no bigger market than AI. There's nothing that's gone as fast from a technology standpoint around the world as AI. And there's nothing in the market that is as simple as Opperly at bringing all of it into one place. I know because I just spent the last 3 weeks on the road in front of thousands of people, hundreds of people at a time on stages, demoing exactly what I showed you. And every day now, I've got people coming up and going, oh my gosh, I just did this. I just did this. I just did this. And they're sharing it with people. So we're going to have 1 million people minimum at $50 a month. That's $50 million a month. Think about this. All right. So does the $200 package transcribe YouTube videos? Even better. All right. One of the agents that I set up, and again, I think what we'll probably do is we'll run some AI Academy type classes and all of us can share the cool things we're doing. I have 11 YouTube channels of AI influencers that I follow. Greg Eisenberg, Dan Martell, a number of people, Alex Hormozy. Some of these guys are friends of mine. I was taking my time to look at their YouTube channels, see what videos were getting traction, see what the content was, and then figure out, all right, what do I want to learn? And then what do I want to share? Well, I built an AI agent that every Sunday goes and scrubs those YouTube channels, and it does two things. Number one, it looks at all the content and it says, hey, Jim, here's what these AI influencers are talking about. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Now I know everybody's talking about the shift from chatbots to AI agents. We're in the perfect market. But what I also have my agent do is this. Tell me what they're not talking about. It does a gap analysis and says, they're all talking about this, but they're not talking about this. You should include this. Think about this. Every Sunday, that saves me 4 to 5 hours doing this. It's done instantly for me. Now I get a report of what they're talking about, what they're not talking about that I should be, and I can stay positioned as an expert. That's just one of the tools that I figured out a couple of weeks ago when I was like, wait a minute, anything that I want done, how can I have an agent do it for me? Is that cool or what? Okay. I think
Jim, before you finish up, can you talk briefly about, we've got a 90-day, Rally's got a 90-day customer acquisition promo going on. Would you speak briefly into that? Because I know that it's an incredible opportunity for people to gather millions of tokens if they want to.
Yeah, I don't have the, where's that flyer? I got to think for a second. I wonder if I put it in Opperly yet. Does anybody know where that flyer is? I can speak to it, but the details of it, let me ask Opperly. One sec here.
I did have it open. I think it was more, you know what, we can get everyone the details, Jim. I think it was more just like that in the next 90 days, some people who really get busy referring and bringing on customers can create what potentially could be life-changing income.
Yeah, so what it was, I remember the general side, I don't remember the details. So it was like, if you help 0 to 4 people, here's what you get. If you help 10 people, you help 20, you help 50, you're getting more and more tokens, and there's bonuses built on. Yeah, there's a copy by email. We should just probably take that, load it into Opperly, into a knowledge base for a rally, and then the AI would know it. I will suggest that, and then everybody's Opperly should know it. But yeah, it's a 90-day blitz, and the goal is to get us to 1 million subscribers. And the people who help share it, and I shared the affiliate link, how you do it. I'm going to show it again because it's actually really simple. You just come in here, and every account has this little gift thing called referrals. You click on referrals, and you grab your link. Now, what's cool for those of you who are in the blockchain is behind the scenes, all they're doing is setting up their Opperly account, but behind the scenes, it's tagging it to you and creating a wallet. Pretty cool. They don't even have to go do it. Now, they'll have to fill this out later and connect it and set up their passcodes and seed phrases and all that kind of stuff, but it's connecting it to you, and it's creating that blockchain wallet behind the scenes just by copying and pasting this. And then it's automatically paying out those commissions every 3 days through BlockBot Pay. All right, thank you for putting that in there, that help link. we can now share that, and we will show it. So let's go through that since you asked it. I love the resourcefulness. Here we go. And customer acquisition. All right, let's go through this real quick. 90-day pilot goes till July 31st. Where's the details I was looking for? Blockbot pay, 200 a month, rank requirement, none. Okay, here it is. This is what we wanted to see right here. I'll zoom in on this. Okay. Activate your first 4, build your foundation. Okay. Starter is 5 through 10. You get, if they do the Operaly Business, that's $1,500 a month. If they do the Standard, which is the $50, that's $375 a month. If they do the Studio, which is obviously the video platform we're on right now, that's 115 additional Rally rewards per month. Okay, so you want to really crank it up. You put 50 or more people on Operaly Business. That's $3,000 a month. For how many months? It did say on here. I want to say it goes beyond the 90 days. We'll have to go back and reread this. I didn't create this, but I should know it.
Well, I think it's actually a good opportunity for everybody just to read through it themselves as well.
Yeah.
We own this, right?
Yeah, watch this. I'm going to just go ahead and put this in here. Here is the current promotion. I want you to memorize this so I can ask you questions and you can track our progress. Boom. Now it's going to analyze this and it's mapping the things out. So I can now ask it questions or I can memorize it. How cool is that? Oops, I was sharing the wrong thing. So I just pasted the promotion in with the hyperlink and now it's digesting all that. All right. Other comments or questions while this is processing all of that information? There we go. Look at this. It says I've memorized the key details for the customer promotion. Launch date, the window, key resources, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. All right. What other questions are coming up? And then we'll wrap this up.
Well, Jim, I actually am going to wrap it up because we've just hit the top of the hour, buddy. And I got a glimpse of your calendar just recently, your schedule. So I want to honor your time because there is a lot of people that you're out serving with all of this and they're questions that we can manage. So thank you very much for your expertise. Thanks for jumping on. This has been a brilliant call. So grateful for you as part of our community and all that you do. So have a magic rest of your evening. Everybody have a great day. Remember that Operaly, we call her a she, by the way, Jim, just before you go, because it's only a woman who could actually get all this together, right? I say that tongue in cheek, my friend.
100%.
So have a great day. Remember that Operaly can answer your questions. So if you've got questions, pop them in there. Have a magic day. And this will be, we'll be having a gap for our brand in the spotlight calls for a couple of weeks. So I'll swing back around, keep a notice for when that's coming. But your calls to action off this call are, if you do not have a subscription, get one. You're ripping yourself off if you don't. Like, seriously, you are starving yourself of giving your time back to yourself. And number 2, just ask her to do whatever and she will pull it together or let you know how to do it. There is so much magic in it. Jen shared with us recently that one of her community members was able to create an income stream and instantly created $800. Like, there's so much on the table, guys. It's worth just asking her the questions, learning as you go. It's literally jumping off the cliff before you've even know how to put your wings out, because she has your back. So with that, have a magic day, everybody, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. Take care. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.